The radio part's not. They're talking. Oh my God.
Minutes until
Nice.
showtime.
So as you just heard, 2 minutes until showtime. And I was just live telling you about tonight. I put my comments up here. And we will be taking some calls. That is Sheila over there. And she is you're in Jamaica now, right?
I am.
Yeah.
Oh Lord, don't let my daughter hear. She'll be like, oh, go down. She's been there 2 years for vacation. She loves
Hi,
it.
Joni.
Really?
Oh,
Hi,
yeah.
Wanda.
It's an awesome place.
It
Everyone
is.
should come.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, this little red-headed, white-skinned girl will be hiding under every close umbrella, bouncing from umbrella to umbrella. 5 minutes in the sun, and I look like a cooked lobster.
Hi. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. This is going to be a good one. We are going to have some fun tonight, and we have a great topic. I mean, this is a topic that's
Minutes until showtime.
always been brought up, in our shows. Hi, Bill. For various reasons, because we do paranormal things, plus we do regular MD things. So this is it's a pretty debilitating issue. So sleep paralysis is no joke.
No.
So
I kind of explained it. I had a friend who said, "What's the show about tonight?" And I said, "It's about sleep paralysis." He goes, "I've never heard of that." And I just explained it quickly. It said it's when you're asleep, but you're awake, and you can't move no matter how hard you try. And it's just like, he's like, "Shit, that sounds scary." I said, "Yes, it is." But it's,
yeah. But we'll be discussing it. We only got like a few seconds left before the show starts. Hi, everybody.
Your show
everybody in
will
the
go
chat
live in
room,
5 seconds.
Share
Four,
the
5
show.
seconds.
3, 2, 1. Log Talk Radio.
Good evening, everybody. I am Gina B, and the place to be is here with me and Mama D.
Hey,
And
everyone.
our guest, Sheila Pryce Brooks. You are in the Fox Den. We're here every Thursday evening from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on DTMWickedRadio.com. And Mama D is going to tell you a little bit about Sheila before we start asking Sheila about Sheila.
Okay, let's see if I can get this without tripping over my tongue. After secretly living with chronic sleep paralysis for 30 plus years, Sheila decided to break her silence about her struggle with the phenomenon and the impact it had on her life. Having overcome sleep paralysis, an experience brought about a deeply personal spiritual transformation and spiritual psychic abilities. She emerged stronger and continually unfolding spiritual abilities. She has recently launched her book where she shares the methods used to transform her life. She not only provides coaching support and alternative options to those in need of spiritual and personal development, but she also, for persons experiencing from sleep paralysis, she expands the current thinking around sleep issues in general, bringing those who suffer from disorders, sleep patterns, to a path of enhanced spirituality. She was born in South London and a teacher at her core. You can see more about her and her services provided. She has a website, Sheila Pryce with Pryce Brooks.com, and Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And I've already put the link for her Facebook account in our chat room.
Yeah. So she definitely wants you people to come and follow her on Facebook and see everything that she does. So that's her Facebook link. And like Mama said, she put the link also in the chat room, but it's www.facebook.com/Sheila Pryce, Pryce Brooks /. Okay. And that is her Facebook site.
It's easier to get a hold of people nowadays with Facebook. So
It is. I mean, I believe so.
yeah.
But she does have the LinkedIn and Twitter and Instagram and everything else, like everyone else does. So find her on all those things on her website and everything. But now, so you heard us a little bit in the bio briefly. But Sheila, can you tell us just a little bit more about you?
About me. Well, like Mama D said, I experienced sleep paralysis, and I'm not sure to what extent persons who are listening fully understand what sleep paralysis is. But I lived with sleep paralysis for many years, decades, in fact. And I managed the sleep paralysis whilst I was working, whilst I had family and commitments and everything, and didn't really speak very much about it. But for those of you that aren't sure what sleep paralysis is, let me just explain it from my perspective. So you go to sleep like normal, and it doesn't matter where you sleep, whether it's on the sofa, on the bed, wherever it is. It doesn't matter what time of the day or night. So you go to bed like normal, but at some point during that sleep state, I mean, you kind of go into this sleep mode. You wake up, but you realize that you're still dreaming, that you're still sleeping, sorry. It's really quite strange because you feel almost like you're having a dream. But what happens and what plays out is that you're able to look around, and you definitely get the sense that you're in a very dark room. It feels like there's a presence or plural presence, entities in the space with you, and their attention is all focused on you. So it's almost like they're watching and observing you in the dark. You can't quite make them out. Then what happens at some point, because it feels very eerie at that stage, because you're not sure what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
At some point it will go wham, you'll feel this great weight just come on your chest, just almost suffocate you. And I think that's when the panic starts to grip you. You try to kind of move and shake yourself, but you realize that you're paralyzed, that you can't move anything. You may be able to move a toe or a little finger at that point. And that seems to wake you up. That seems to break the spell. I was also able to make noises in my throat because I couldn't move my mouth. I'm just like stuck there.
Yeah.
So I'm able to kind of grunt in my throat, and that will draw attention to other people in the house to wake.
Right. Now, you know, I used to work with a psychic medium, and we talked about this a lot, as in entities attacking you while you're sleeping. Not really attacking you. It's more or less that when you're in that REM sleep, right? So now medically, or I'm gonna do a whole bunch of things all at once here. So medically, for us to not harm ourselves, that is a thing that happens to us while we're sleeping. You know, that we get paralyzed so that when we're dreaming, we're not going to hurt ourselves or someone else. You know, it's when we start the waking is when we start the moving and stuff. But when you get woken up before your time is due, you know, but that is when an entity or a spirit can talk to you, because your brain is not focused on the million things they have to do every day, all day. I got to take the kids to school. I got to go to work. I got to buy the groceries. I got to pay this bill. Oh, where am I going to get, you know, blah, 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 blah. So not all of that is running through your head. So a spirit can actually communicate with you at that point. Now, that being said, sometimes it's a negative entity that would be possibly pinning you down and trying to get your attention. And you said it too, like maybe you can move your toe, or maybe you can, you know, make that little grunt sound in your throat. If you realize you can actually move your tongue. If you can move your tongue, you can make like the sign of the cross in your mouth, you know, and if that comforts you a little bit, then, you know, if you think it's something negative or evil. So Chris George, you know, taught me that. And I asked some people that this has happened to, and they said, yes, they were able to make the sign of the cross in their mouth. So I just wanted to put that out there. And what are your thoughts on all of that?
I think that you're right, that it's when your mind isn't focused and filled with all the practicalities of things you've got to do, you know, when you're awake. It's when you have least resistance. It's when you're most disconnected, when there's nothing to get in the way, that spiritually it's much easier for there to be that interaction, that communication. When you sleep, I suppose you're at your most vulnerable. And as humans, we all have to sleep. I guess so that when you sleep, you don't expect anything otherworldly to be going on. You
Right.
know, you
Right.
expect it to be a nourishing sleep, and you wake up normally refreshed from that. And I think that what happened to me, what was going on with me, kind of showed me very much that there's far more going on than what I thought in my day to day, you know, in terms of physically, that
Right.
there's a whole lot of stuff going on non-physically that we can't see and interact with on a day-to-day, moment by moment experience, you know. So yeah, I totally agree with you. I think also that one thing is that your perception of these experiences is really important. If you think that that it's a negative force, then you may well get stuck there in that negativity and that negative experience. Whereas I think for me, definitely, I changed my perception of them, and I didn't see them negative, and I was able to transition past that. So it's actually the sleep paralysis episodes have stopped now, but it's almost as though it was a gateway. It's almost as though there were gatekeepers spiritually, and I've transitioned past those experiences now.
Do you think that it was the gatekeepers trying to get your attention? Because
For
you
sure.
transitioned from before the sleep paralysis, you didn't have, for lack of a better word, spiritual abilities, psychic abilities. And do you think this is what they were saying? It's like, hello, it's time for you to, wake up to that other part of who you are?
Yeah, for sure. I think that before I kind of realized what was going on, I thought, like a lot of people do, that something spooky is going on here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there were a lot of movies around hauntings, around entities, around demons. There was all of this that I had absorbed and taken on. I thought that there was something very kind of spooky in a very practical way.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
I'm realizing now that it's a bit more complicated than that. It's something that it doesn't happen to everybody. You
Right.
know,
Sometimes
you've
it's medical and
Yes.
sometimes it's spiritual.
Yeah.
But to
That's
protect
right.
yourself, if it is a spiritual thing, you can protect yourself, and if you do psychic development, type things, raise your vibrations and such. Now, how long did it take you once you started developing these skills for the sleep paralysis to stop?
About a year and a half. It gradually diminished. So it wasn't happening as frequently as it was before. And it became a lot more subtler. So I started to notice that I wouldn't have the full-blown kind of paralysis, but I could maybe feel touches on my skin and things like that whilst I slept, or someone nudging my shoulder, something shaking me or something. So the experience became a lot more subtler, and one that I could connect with, and I could feel that energy, and in all honesty, it didn't feel negative. It was almost like you were saying, a prodding, a push.
Right.
It's time to do this. You've got to do, and moving me in this particular direction.
I think that's so cool. Now, in the chat room here, Taryn was asking, 30 years, wow, did that cause depression? So she was asking you if that was a depression thing, and then she was talking about her experience of what happened to her. So did you get depressed from all this happening?
I wouldn't say I got depressed. I tried a lot of different things to stop the episodes. I had crosses, like you've mentioned, every room, everywhere, and Bibles, different oils. I slept in different beds. I slept in different rooms. I prayed incessantly, constantly. There were times I didn't want to sleep. I tried not to sleep because I just thought like, they were coming when I sleep, and no one could understand what I was going through. It's one of these things where you're on your own, quite literally, with it.
Yeah, desperation, desperate measure.
Yeah. But I think I was tired, more than tired. I was exhausted. And because it was, I was trying to manage that, plus manage family, kids and all that, plus manage work and all of those expectations at the same time. And I got tired and very fed up with it. And I know that towards the end, I had reached the point where it was like a do or die thing, I was defiant. I was becoming angry and defiant and feeling a bit abused and victimized by it. And just thought, you can't keep doing this to me, kind of thing. I didn't say it, but this was the vibration. My thoughts were saying that, and that translated into the changes that would happen when I slept. So, it's almost like if you allow something to dictate to you at how you should behave or control you, then you behave like a victim. Right. You do. You behave like a victim.
That's right.
But the moment you stand up to it, the game changes. There's movement, there's a shift, and that's what happened with me. I wasn't depressed, but I was very angry and tired and fed up with the whole thing, and kind of took that into my sleep and said, okay, we're going to have it out, quite literally. That was my thinking at the time. Yeah. That we're going to have this out, and I need to know what's going on here. What's going on? Because it's not a dream. There's no characters. There's no plot. It's just you and this thing. And it's the same thing repeating.
Yeah. How can you not feel, victimized? It's being bullied. That's your most vulnerable. Yeah. That's almost like being asleep in the shower. I mean, that's the only more vulnerable thing that you can actually.
Yes, okay.
You know what I mean? It's like shower and sleeping. Those are your moments, your special time. No ghost, no spirit, no entities, no nothing. Right? Get out. But your intent needs to be extremely on point.
Yeah.
And that's what makes anything actually work, especially in the metaphysical world.
We have in the chat room, we have Gretchen. I get awoken by whispers and in a sleep paralysis state. And then she says, shadows and whispers almost every night at the same time between 2 and 3 a.m. I'm going to try and get a little faster. Yeah. And it started as young as I can recall, being told I am a physical medium, but I do not know about that. Does anyone understand these things?
Gretchen, I've been with you before, and yes, you do have the abilities. I was with you at the Oliver House, and that was really prevalent there. You're very, very sensitive. You do need to ground and shield a little bit more than you actually do, or really develop, go to psychic development classes, find someone that's a really good teacher and hone in those skills. Because yes, you are. You are. I'm just going to put that out
Even
there.
though we know that we are, we sometimes still need that confirmation from outside sources.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But
Gretchen,
those
she's
voices,
your outside.
I mean,
She's your
yeah,
outside source.
right. So, I mean, what would be your advice for her, Sheila? What should she do?
I think I can, as Gretchen says, that I remember the whispers. I remember the shadows. So many shadows, all over the place, and movement. This very subtle movement kind of going on, So I remember that. For me, it wasn't as young as it wasn't very. I mean, this started for me about in my 20s. For me, when I kind of remember this going on and not being able to manage it. But I definitely think that now that I know more, there's something about becoming more grounded, absorbing more natural energies. Meditating is another one. Spend more time in meditating and focusing. The meditation brings on this kind of concentrated energy and enables you to kind of focus yourself a lot more when you're out of meditation as well as when you are meditating. Don't your perception of this. I mean, there's this thing that I know about. I mean, and I have this thing called knowing, and I kind of get these kind of downloads. But there's this, free will. There's this thing about free will.
Mm-hmm.
If you want it, you'll get it. Your intent, as Gina said, needs to be very clear. There shouldn't be a wobble there. So if it's something that you want to focus and develop on, be very clear about that intention, that this is what you want to do, and then that's what will transpire. It's almost as though the universe will kind of come together to make it happen for you. The right people will appear at the right time and come into your life to make things happen, to move you on. But I do think that you've got to have, I mean, like I said, it doesn't happen to everybody. There's a spiritual acuity for you to be able to receive sleep paralysis and to have that experience. And, it doesn't happen to everyone. So if you do experience that, there's something there that's quite remarkable about you spiritually with these. I mean, I now call them gifts. Oh, look at that. I see them as gifts.
Gina's having fun.
I'm trying to do things. I'm playing.
The things that you can tap into, Gretchen, it's just amazing, because we have the ability to do so much more than the 5 senses that we are aware of. There's so much more going on. Hope that helps.
The tip of the iceberg. Yeah. So Kendra says, I'm a psychic medium, and I have what they call death angels come to me, but I have one more spooky. He comes running down my hallway and jumps on top of me. Is that what you're talking about?
I'd say no. I'd say no. I mean, I don't understand what you mean by death angels.
Yep. I don't know where she's getting that. And then she said something else down here. Let's see. Okay. I get the whispers at night, even when I be in the bathtub and taking a shower. Oh no. No.
Out.
Cut. No.
Yeah. They're always with you. They never leave you.
I know, but you have to have boundaries, even with the spirits. I have boundaries.
If you're gonna be in the bathroom with me when I'm showering, don't talk. I don't want to know you're there. Just let me have my peace of mind, thinking I'm still alone. Thank you very much.
It's true though. In this house, I have boundaries. I'm like, that guy up on the 3rd floor. He starts wandering down. Like, get your ass back up on that 3rd floor. I got a lady that's predominantly on this floor, but she comes down every once in a while downstairs. I boot her back up to here. It's like, you stay in your areas, or I will get rid of you. Period. So
You tell them.
I do tell them, and Bob will get afraid of them sometimes. If
this is a
I
good
go
thought.
away, he won't sleep upstairs if I go away, because the black shadows that run around here are ridiculous, and they really torment him because they know they can get away with it. They don't get away with it with me, so it doesn't bother me.
It's like mischievous children.
It is. It
It's like
truly.
Mama's gone. Let's mess with Dad.
Yeah, they were people. They were people.
Does sleep paralysis happen? Do you know if it happens more to men or women, or has there been a study on this that you know of?
So far, from the data I can find, it's an equal balance between men and women. The sleep paralysis, they say that 1 in every 10 person globally, it's a global phenomenon.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter where you are, that it happens to 1 in 10 persons. So that's quite a large number of people that would experience sleep paralysis. So the numbers are quite huge.
Oh, she's
around.
Yeah, but she's explaining what death angels are. That's when they come to her when someone's going to pass, like when someone sees an owl or something, like an omen or a messenger.
Okay.
So that's a different gift altogether, and that's definitely not what's going on here, or what's happened to Sheila. That's not like what we're talking about, what happened to her. But I'm not saying that it's not happening to you, because obviously everyone's things are different, Everyone's gifts are different. We need different gifts, just like we need different talents out in the world. We need musicians and singers and artists and worker bees and bosses. There's a hierarchy in the realm.
I'm curious, and this just put it out there. I don't know if you know the answer to this, but since your sleep paralysis was followed by a spiritual awakening, for lack of a better word, I wonder if most people who have the spiritual paralysis, sleep paralysis, come out of it with a higher vibration.
I think though that it does depend on your perception of the sleep paralysis.
Okay.
I was at the point where I was ready to stand up to whatever was happening. So I was quite strong in that respect, and I was ready to no longer be a victim to it. So my perception shifted.
Yeah.
Were you told this, like, to go this route, or did this just come to you to go to this route?
It came to me. It came to me to go this route, and it was building up. It was like nagging me over a few weeks, in fact, because I was afraid to do that. And then I just kind of switched one day and said, okay, it's a do or die situation. And it was in that instant that the dynamics of the experience changed. So I think that to some extent, if you experience sleep paralysis, I know that it's initially a fear-based experience. There's something about moving from the place of fear to that place where you're going to allow it to happen and confront it. When you decide to do that, the whole experience changes, because that fear builds up the resistance to allowing those gifts to come through. So you're almost trapping yourself in this cycle of sleep paralysis and fear. It just goes on and on and on. Whereas if you relax the resistance, allow it to happen, then you'll be able to transcend and transition through it, So your perception of it is very, very key. A way, anyone listening that has it, you must find a way to change your perception of it. I mean, you get what you think about, quite literally. And
Yeah.
if you think that this is something evil and wicked and they're gonna do you harm, then then that's what you'll get. You'll be fixed there.
Mm-hmm.
Free will is so important here, because your free will is putting you in this fear-based position. You are consciously doing it. You're doing it to yourself. So you need to shift from that place of fear into a place of open expectation, wonderment, wanting to understand the situation more, allowing it, seeing really what harm can it do to you. You need to be prepared to do that and internally let off that energy to say, yes, this is what I want, because you can't fake it till you make it with this. It's got to be a deep rooted want.
Yeah. Well, after as many years as you went through it, I mean, you got to that point out of desperation. So, learn from her, people, that if it started happening to you, don't wait 30 years.
Yeah, don't. I mean, and just to say, Gina, that, when I had it, there were no mechanisms like this. There was no one talking about it.
Right.
I just found it in some dictionaries. There was no Google in that, I had to go to the library, I remember, and I looked it up and found this thing, sleep paralysis, and it was like, oh my goodness, this is what I experienced, because the doctor didn't know what to do with it. I went to the doctors thinking it was something physical,
right?
And the doctor told me to get some sleep. Go and get some sleep. That's what the doctors told me.
Do you think it would have helped also as well to have someone to talk to about this? Like if people are out there and they're going through this and like you kept it to yourself because it was like they didn't want to be people to think that they were, like you said, the doctor told you, go home and get some sleep. You need to have that ability to talk to somebody. Would that be something that would have helped you more? Oops.
Yeah,
for sure. I think that, and I remember I did try and speak to a couple of people, and I think that I picked up very quickly that people would think that I was possessed or something like that. And they wanted to then keep their distance from me.
Well, of course. So it's the same with psychic abilities too. People would think we were nuts, or if we were talking to spirits, people would think we were nuts. And now it's it's more commonplace. It's more accepted now.
It's almost to the point where you don't talk to spirits.
Yeah, but yes, it is. I mean, when anything that's new like that or anything that's different, when they don't have a definitive answer, it's like, oh well, it's
Yeah.
It's supernatural. You're possessed. Yeah, like let's burn the witches. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh yeah, that's exactly how I felt. I felt like I was some kind of a witch or something, and so I decided, well, I won't speak to you again about it, and just kind of internalized it and kept everything to myself. And that was why I tried all these home remedies with the Bible, and I remember I was watching the movie The Entity. The Entity was
oh my god, I love that movie.
And
but I love that movie.
I went from home. I slept in different homes. I went to my mom's, my sister's, slept in different homes, but it just kept happening. And then I thought, this thing it's about me. It's not about the physical space. It's part of me, and I need to accept that and deal with that.
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean,
you can manifest. Yes. You have that big power that you can manifest these things into being. So you're very powerful. You have a good soul. You could probably, like, if you did Tai Chi, you would be one of those ones that could throw an energy ball across a room. You know what I mean? You would have that kind of power in you. And I mean, some people they have that power and they create like poltergeists around them and such, and things that, happen in the house. And when they leave, it doesn't happen. When they come back, it does. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it is different people's abilities. So to this extent, It doesn't happen to everyone. But because you're so gifted, I think it happened more so, more dramatic to you.
She was a lighthouse.
Yeah.
Yes, a lighthouse. That's what? What do you mean by lighthouse? I attract.
Yeah, you attract. At a certain point, you became the beacon that was attracting people, entities, spirits, whatever you want to call them, to say, "Hey, this is time for you to wake up." Like I said,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
transitioned from being frightened. You stood your ground. And that was what I believe. That's what possibly why they were there, was for you to sort of wake you up from this mundane life to, like, hello, there's a little bit more out there than just you, me, and a lamppost.
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah. I mean, it's quite remarkable because I think I've come a complete 360 from
Hmm.
where I was before to where I am now. You
Yeah.
know, and both experiences are so very real. You can't. No one could tell me now that
Yeah.
these things don't exist. You know, the spirits and energy and vibration and attraction. It's part of everything now. It's just
It
the
is.
same way I would get up and have breakfast, a cup of tea, and these things. It's the same way that
Yeah.
I'm so clear that these things happen and that they're part of not just my life, everybody's life.
Yeah.
It's just whether or not, as individuals, we can perceive
Right.
what's going on,
Yeah.
in this other realm, in this other dimension.
Yeah. There's Larry Sanchez in the chat room says, here we go. I've often felt a dark mass come over me and I can't move or yell out. I remember my wife said she heard me moaning in my sleep, but to me I was yelling, help me. I always
Yeah,
just thought it was sleep paralysis.
it is
So,
sleep, but that definitely sounds like sleep paralysis.
but sleep paralysis could be not to everybody, but it could be a a point where you have to transition, a point where I'm not saying it's like the only thing I can say is put your big girl pants on. Not sorry, Larry, big boy pants on, and just sort of stand your ground. As much as you are an individual when you are awake, that you are like people don't mess with you. When you're asleep, there's that different place. You're in that. That's your like we said in the beginning. That is your most one of the most. Where's that word, Gina? Like
Prevalent.
prevalent
Same.
places. Yeah, it's your safe place. It's like you don't, you're just like calm. All your defenses are down, and this is when they come. This is when they. Now, each one could be a different reason, but also look at it this way. This could be the time where you're saying, "Hello, it's time for me to, in my sleep, put my big boots on, big boy boots on." But
Right. But then if you
it's just
know
my
this is
opinion.
happening again and again and again. Now for Sheila, this happened nightly, all the time. Right.
Yeah.
So it's again and again and again and again. If it happens every once in a while, well, it could be a passing by spirit just trying to get your attention. Spirits do know who they can talk to.
Mm-hmm.
That's for sure. So, if you do have those abilities, they will try to find you. I mean, you are like beacons. It's like walking into a dark house and you're the flashlight, and they'll be like, ooh, here's someone that can talk to us. Here's someone that can hear us, whether they choose to
Whether they
turn
choose to or
on.
whether they believe it or not.
Yes,
Because
so,
sorry, um, you didn't realize this in the beginning. In the beginning, you thought Sheila thought that she was like, I'm losing my mind. Everybody thinks I'm nuts. I'm not going to talk anymore. It's just this is not something that was something spoken of. You had to go to the library to do research because there was no Google, no Google search.
I know,
Yeah.
I like. So if you guys really
research.
want to, get in touch with her or anything else too, you can look her up on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, all her links, SheilaPryceBrooks.com website, and you can get some more information from her directly. Plus, she also has a book. Sheila, tell us about the book that you wrote.
So I decided, and I will say that this coming out and talking about sleep paralysis again happened overnight. Overnight I decided to kind of blow the can, talk more openly about sleep paralysis. You know, it was, and with that decision came the idea that I wanted to write a book. I wanted to share what I know about it. I wanted to be able to help others, because what I know is that you've got at one end of the spectrum, you've got sleep paralysis, you've got all this other metaphysical stuff, lucid dreaming, astral projections, you know, all of that going on, where you can kind of leave your body energetically and do all kinds of things and come back. And then at the softer end, you've got people with a more gentle calling, people who aren't sure of their purpose, perhaps, people who may be a bit depressed and down and can't figure things out. And it's two sides of the same coin, even though persons may not see it, because because of their kind of understanding. But we have a higher self, and there's a lot of kind of stuff going on around us spiritually. And so I wanted to be of help to all persons, you know, along that spectrum. So which is why I decided to start offering coaching, as well as writing the book. And I'm starting to do online courses and things like that now as well. That's what I'm starting to work at, you know. But the decision came because I realized that there was no support for persons going through those things.
Yeah, it's a need. It's a need.
There is a need. There is definitely a need for persons who are having these experiences. I know how I felt, and I just wanted to help others who are in the situation that I was in, you know. So yeah, the book is out there. I'm working on another book right now, which will have the practices and exercises that persons can do if they're experiencing sleep paralysis. So it will kind of take them through that. And I'm hoping that book will be out sometime this year and available on Amazon and all of the usual places.
Yeah, and the book is called Beyond the Nightmare.
That's right.
So, you know, again, go to SheilaPryceBrooks.com and you can get the info and everything that she's doing there, as well as all her other pages links. And you know, but I mean, I couldn't agree more. There's an absolute need for this service. There are a lot of people out there, and it can go either way of the spectrum. Like children, this could be happening to children. Like psychics, they say, you know, children have the stronger ability before their mind gets cluttered. You know, other times it develops later in life. You know, everyone's different. Everyone is different. You know, so no case is ever the same. No spirit's ever the same. No haunting is ever the same. No, you know, no. You can have similarities, but it is good to know that you're not alone when these things do happen. You know, so therein lies the need for Sheila.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So then Sharon Phillips in the chat says, I had sleep paralysis one time. I couldn't move and I felt the covers pull me up into the bed and the covers went up over my mouth and nose. Felt like I was suffocating. I couldn't say anything. So I just thought the name of Jesus and I was able to move. Pretty scary. So that they actually moved your covers. That is pretty scary. You know, because there's a difference between the feeling of being held down, because you are, you know, like I said before, you know, it is a thing that is instilled. It's in us when you're sleeping, when you're REM sleeping and stuff, that we do go into this paralysis mode. So that not everybody's up walking around. You know, some people sleepwalk and they can harm themselves because they're that out. You know, but you know, it's a safety mechanism for ourselves personally that does paralyze us so that we don't hurt us and others. And if you are interrupted in that and you wake up and your body is still in that in itself is scary, let alone your mind all of a sudden starts going, oh my God, this has to be something doing this to me, you know? And then again, if you're very psychic, you can manifest these things doing these things to you. So try to stay positive. Right. So Sheila, what's the most important thing about staying positive?
I think definitely, like you said, it's that thing about you get what you think about, you know. So if you think positive, if you stay upbeat, if you keep your energies high, then the experience will be likewise. Yeah. It won't be fearful. You won't be afraid. You may even start to enjoy the experience and look forward to what's going to happen next. You know, what am I going to do? I know that when you're sleeping, there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
It's difficult to explain it. I don't want people to think I'm crazy, but when you're when you're sleeping,
We'll
there's so much going on.
We're the crazy ones, Jean and I.
Hey, I remember.
So the more positive you can be, the more happy, the more light you can be, the more you'll enjoy the experience and bring to you more awareness and more understanding. And it helps to develop your gifts, your psychic gifts as well, if you stay positive. Imagine if you're negative, if you could be thinking all fear-based things, you know, evil things, wicked things, and think about demons and ghouls and all kinds of things. Can you imagine then the place that you'll be in whilst you're sleeping if these are the things that you think about and stay negative? I will say that also, I mean, it's not just about thinking about those things. It's also about just generally in your everyday life. You could be very kind of negative and doom-based and things aren't working for me and that kind of thinking. It's all victim-based, you know. It is. It's, yeah. It is.
Like attracts like. Positive attracts
for
positive.
Sure.
Negative attracts negative. So yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
So it's really important to keep your everyday spirits high and to look on the bright side and to see the cup as always filled and to see the blessings around you and be filled with gratitude and appreciation. Then you will get more of that and bring more of that into your life rather than the negative doom and no one likes me and I'm not going to be able to do this and this isn't working out, and you know, the negative talk, really it's self-defeating. You're beating yourself up and you're not serving and helping yourself. Really, you're not helping yourself
around you or anybody around you. Can I tell you?
Or anyone around you. Your energy is all kind of heavy and low, you know, and when you sleep, you're bringing that kind of low energy into your sleep state.
Yeah,
and
like
it's and it stays there and it's very difficult to lift it up whilst you sleep. It just stays there and attracts these negative things, you see. So it's very, very important to stay positive and as upbeat as possible and to be filled with gratitude and appreciation. Try and do that daily. Include that as part of your routine.
Yeah, and your meditations and whatnot. What is your favorite type of a meditation? Do you do like a guided meditation, or are you just beyond that now?
No, I still do guided meditations. When I first started meditating, I thought I couldn't meditate. I would just be there for maybe about 30 seconds or so, and I just could not focus. So I could not. I stuck with it though, and gradually did 1 minute. Then I increased it to 2 minutes, and now my average is about 9 minutes of meditation. Yeah, every day, about 9 minutes. And I do guided meditations. I do the breathing in for 3 and out for 5. In for 3, out for 5. I do that for about the 9 minutes, and then I leave it there and just do it once for the day. And that small exercise, small practice, has kind of transformed my life completely. It really, really has.
Yeah. Once you can let all that stuff go and get the and just like kind of like a Reiki thing, and a grounding and a shielding, bringing in the better energy. I like a golden light to come in because it's healing too. Bring in the golden light, push it all the way through your body and out through your feet, and get rid of all the crap. And put it back into the earth where it's supposed to be, and leave it all behind. Maybe it's best to do that before going to bed. So maybe sleep might be a little bit easier, lighter, because you don't want to take that sludge to bed with you. Because you said it, your words were too. It's too heavy to lift. Yes, because it's that yucky negative sludge. Blech. You want that gone.
That's right. That's right. I do think we take these things for granted very much. It's almost like just a normal thing. You just go to sleep regardless of your mood and how you're feeling, without recognizing that there's more to it than that, and that it has this rebound effect on you.
Yeah, it's like that old saying, never go to bed angry. Well, sometimes I go to bed angry, and I do not sleep well, and I really couldn't. But sometimes I just don't even, when you get into those things, like I just don't even want to let this go yet. But then you pay.
Yeah.
So,
Exactly.
you're only hurting yourself when this thing happens. So, get over yourselves, people, because you are only hurting yourselves. Michael in the chat room. There you go. Maybe off topic a bit, but I just want to say I did see a ghost at the foot of my bed 2 years ago, and a little foggy mist on the floor where it was. The ghost did float up through my ceiling, however. So my question to Michael is, did you recognize who it was? I had both my grandparents appear to me at the foot of my bed when I was a child, both when they passed away. My grandmother, I could actually hear her. I could see her and her mouth was moving. I couldn't hear her. But my grandfather, I could hear him. He was at the foot of my bed, and he was saying, "They're grabbing my feet." And he was an old little Italian guy. He stuttered a lot. And he kept saying, "They're grabbing my feet. They're grabbing my feet. They're grabbing my feet." Now, when we were all kids, I was very little. And we would go over every Sunday to the grandparents' house, and these guys were, I just loved my grandparents. Steamboat Nick and Grandma Rose, right? But when he got sick and he was home in bed, we didn't go there, But what he was saying is he would wake up at night and saying that people are grabbing his feet while he's sleeping. Now, I didn't know this. I never heard this. And I told it to my mom. She was just like, "Oh my God," because he was saying that someone was trying to grab his feet while he was sleeping. And he kept saying, "Fix his covers, put his covers in the bottom of the bed, so that they can't grab his feet." So I don't know who was trying to grab his feet, but apparently they got him, because he was at the foot of my bed telling me, "They're grabbing my feet, they're grabbing my feet." So, it could be a loved one, maybe just passed or just checking on you, or, so again, I would like to know if you recognized or could make out a figure, whether it was a man or a woman or any of those things.
Susan in the chat room, says, "Took me forever to be able to meditate." I love it though. And that's the thing. A lot of people think that you have to sit down and do that, 15-minute get out. You can't. Not everybody can. Some people build up to it, like you said, Sheila. You went from 30 seconds to you're at 9 minutes. I meditate when I'm going to tell my husband washing the dishes. It just, my mind focuses on just the mundane of washing the dish, getting the soap off, rinsing it off. So it goes elsewhere, and it's like an automatic thing. So meditation doesn't have to be, something that you can sit down and do instantly. There are people who, maybe can, but the heck was that? But for me personally,
I think this is a good question. Can astral projection be a form of sleep paralysis? And I'll let you guys, both of you answer that before I do.
I know that when you experience sleep paralysis, you are astral projecting, if that makes sense. Astral projection means that you're able to leave your physical body, and as a non-physical entity, you can then astral project. You can kind of move around. There's been many times when I experienced sleep paralysis that I would look down on myself and that I would be seeing what's going on in the room.
Mm.
And that's astral projection, when you are able to do that. And there are some people who try to astral project deliberately and try and control that projection. When you astral project, you are not constrained by your physical body. You're far more lighter and your senses are far more sharper. You can also astral project anywhere. You can go anywhere. You can travel. You can go right across the other side of the world in an instant when you astral project.
Yeah.
So, and you can go and visit people's homes and see what people are doing when you astral project. It's a very real thing that you can do that when you are aware of your non-physical body.
Yeah.
And
Mike
it's very, very common.
Yeah, Mike Robichaud is in the chat room. He's a shaman. He knows all about the subject. Mike, if you are able to call in, I'd love to have your 2 cents on this topic for sure. Michael is a very powerful shaman. He has my friend Joni, the author, writes all the paranormal books. Just wrote the Hanover haunting with Deanna Simpson's haunting in her house, and Mike gets involved with these things that Joni does, and remotely he will send in his angels, his guardian archangels, and their troops, and they like obliterate the house, and he wipes out the spirits and all the things that are going on remotely, and he can do this, so everyone's powers and, like I said, gifts are different, what people are able to do. But being a shaman, I think you're taught these things, and you're taught astral projection for different things, and remote viewing things. But again, they're all a little different. Everything is a little different. There's a little tweak, a little difference on who can do what and how. Monks do it differently. I mean, everybody does it differently. So Mike, if you're still in there, and if you want to call in, the call-in number is right there. They're toll-free numbers. You can call in. Or if anybody else has something that they want to ask her personally, instead of just commenting, please call in the show. Come join the conversation.
Well, my personal opinion on whether or not astral projection and sleep paralysis, I cannot say I've ever had sleep paralysis. I did astral project when I was very, very young, because I can remember doing it. But I don't think it's the same, because astral projection, you're free to do what you want. The sleep paralysis is holding you in place. The way that Sheila describes it, there was somebody sitting on her chest. There was somebody who was just like, yo, you're not going anywhere. So maybe it was stopping you from astral projecting.
Yeah. Well, your body's not going to move while you're astral projecting. It's not going to move. But
you're not holding yourself. Nobody's holding you down.
Right. And when you're aware, when you're in that, awake nightmare state, then that's the sleep paralysis.
But if I can just say though, that what happens is that there are times when you're having the sleep paralysis episode, but you're observing it. So you can see yourself on the bed, frozen on the bed, and unable to move. So it's when you're experiencing sleep paralysis, you can also astral project.
Right.
Okay.
Like when you were developing your skills and being able to take charge, so to say, then
That's
you would
right.
be able to be in charge of something like that. So it's not like a thing that you could just do. You know what I mean? Like, it's like you have to make up your mind to do it, or be taught to do it, or, feel safe enough to do that. Because a lot of people will say, well, I wouldn't want to leave my body because what if I can't come back? When I
Yeah.
died, I overdosed accidentally on pain pills when I broke my collarbone, and I was dying. And I was going down a hallway, and I realized I was dying, and brought myself back, and I slammed into my body, onto the sofa that I was on. Man, did that hurt. But but I was like, oh my God. But that was the only time that I really felt like I left my body, and I would never want to do that again intentionally. No. No. It's good right here. Stay put. But
I think also that the sleep paralysis experience, I clearly see it as a non-physical engagement. It's a non-physical experience. It's a spiritual engagement.
right.
So even though your physical body is shut down, like you were saying, and that's why you're paralyzed and you can't move, but non-physically, your non-physical self is what's engaging in that experience, and your physical senses are feeling it, which is why you'll feel that weight on your chest. But it's really a non-physical and a non-physical experience.
Yeah, let me see this.
Yeah.
The
Sheila
fox
says the fox is drug you back. There you go.
That's right. Oh, what do you think about that right there about spirit guides and whatnot being with you at those points? Because I mean, the foxes, that's why you're in the fox den. I mean, the fox is my spirit guide, and it's been known to me my whole life.
That's your spirit guide, the fox.
Yeah, my most predominant. I mean, I have others, but there's
Okay.
but that's my most predominant.
Yeah, they definitely were there at those times. In fact, they're always around, and they always have been. It's just that I didn't acknowledge that, wasn't aware of that.
Right.
But the sleep paralysis experience was part of the process that I was going through to come out to be the person that I am now. Most definitely. The spirit, my spirit guides have played a huge part, hugely instrumental in the whole thing, from the jump to now and onwards. So everything is unfolding for me. So I'm kind of watching where this is going.
Oh yeah, and the big thing is trust it all. Yeah. Anytime you have a gut instinct, any of those intuitive thoughts, those are direct lines from your spirit guides. You got to trust them all always. If it, your keys are missing for 5 minutes, you're supposed to leave the house 5 minutes later. Whatever it is, whatever happens is for a reason. Now, Michael wrote, maybe some do project while that happens. He doesn't. He astral projects, and also he can astral project his spirit guides, completely different types of astral projection. Yeah, that's what I was talking about, that he sends his spirit guides in to clear houses. So his totem guide is a hawk, and that connects his abilities to control his guides separately from himself. Oh, and then send them out flying. Yeah, so I'm all ground animals. Oh, actually, I have a turkey, and I was like, a turkey, but really, it's a very strong totem.
It is.
Look it up. At first I was just like, no way, come on, it can't be. But yeah, no, I'm happy with it. I'm not going to tell you about it. You guys can look it up. Have you ever done guided meditations to find your spirit guides?
No, I've not done that. That sounds very interesting.
Oh, they're awesome.
And it sounds like that would bring a much more closer connection, clearer connection.
Yeah.
So yes, how do you do that?
Well, if you can go online and you can even look up guided meditations for that, for animal spirit guides, for angels, for there's a guided meditation for just about everything under the sun, right? But and then you find whichever one works best for you. There was a good one that worked for me, that we were guided in walking across a field. You go down a set of stairs, you go into a cave. You're supposed to go into just a room into the cave, and there's just supposed to be this little guy, a little light in there. But what do I see? I see a little crack in the wall, and I have to go to that, right? Because I'm like this overachiever. I don't know if you noticed. But I go over and I start poking at that hole and crunching it, to break through. And there's another field there, and there are a bunch of foxes right there. But beyond that, I could see like an altar in the middle of the field. And there was this robed being standing there with the big book and, facing the other way. So I couldn't see the face. And then I knew I shouldn't be there. When you have that, like you're a kid and you're not supposed to be in this room. I had that feeling. So I'm like, I think I did something bad. I'm not supposed to be here. I don't think I'm supposed to see this. But so I'm staying back with my foxes. They're all in front of me, and they're acting like nothing's wrong. They're all just running and playing and like regular foxes would do, in this tall grass. This being turns around and looks at me, and I don't know if you guys ever watched that show, Vincent, that used to be on. He turned into a lion or something, but he had that like smushy nose. I drew a picture of this actually when this happened to me years ago, and I posted it online several times. But it looks like a lion face. What a powerful moment. Like I knew that this was a very high being. Didn't say a word to me, just looked at me and then just turned around, went back to the book, and I slowly backed back into the cave, where I was supposed to.
Like mom gives you that look, like, mm-hmm. I'm going.
Bye now, right? So I'm like, but it was like, it was the most intense moment, and I still see it, like it happened. It's so vivid, a vivid memory, like I could draw the picture again, that's how vivid it is. But it looked like a lion face, long hair, long robes. It was white robes and red stripes down the front of the robe with a big book at an altar. But you just knew that this was a higher being. But that was a guided meditation. It was about 20 minutes long. So you can do a good deep a deep state before you get to that point into that cave where you're supposed to be. Listen, we got a bunch of stuff going on in
the chat room. We have Julia. A second. I was almost murdered. Oops, try this again. The doctors all said there was no medical explanation why I was alive. I healed extremely fast and was not meant to die that night. I was attacked at my house by a doctor, but did not remember the attack. I am an empath and really want to remember.
Wow. Well,
why would you? Here's my question, Julia. Why do you want to remember?
Do you want to remember who did it? I mean, I don't understand. Yeah. I mean, I'm not fully understanding. This is a horrible thing to
have happened, but why do you want to remember? Is there's got to be a reason. Is there something that you think you need to learn from it? And Michael has been doing sweat lodges, and I have always wanted to do a sweat lodge. Had a friend who used to do them, but she doesn't do them anymore.
Yeah, and then that one too. Actually, multiple sweat lodge rituals, dream state prophecies. Yes. Oh, lucid dreaming, dream state prophecies. There's so many. Again, we had touched on this. Sheila said the same thing. There's so many aspects to this. I mean, it depends on what level, what state you are. Like Mike, he's a shaman, so of course he's going to be studying, rituals like this and Native American things. He's gonna know his totems. He's gonna know all those things. But not everybody is that intuitive and that in tune.
Exactly. Julia wrote in the chat room. Here we go. I know who did it. I want to know I want to know that I'm right.
Oh, wow, 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 wow. Oh, well, what about what do you call it? Hypnosis.
Okay. But Michael also wrote, your inner self-preservation is not going to let you remember. Because
Mm,
there's a reason
ready.
that you're not remembering.
Yeah. Yeah,
You
maybe
know,
you
it's
can't handle it.
even though you remember the
That
before, the who it is, and that you survived it, there's something in it that you're not, that's too traumatic, shall we say, that you're not supposed to remember. So I happen to agree with Michael in that sense.
Yeah, could be, could be. Also thought of that and didn't, and I know I won't remember. So, well, well, there you go. Right there is
There, that door is closed.
yeah,
Somebody
that's
took
an
the key and showed it
affirmation.
away.
I won't ever remember, and I said I wanted to, but
Yeah.
yeah, that's a double negative right there. You know what I mean? If you want to, you will send out the positive, it will come to you. If you're already putting the negative in there, I won't ever. That's a negative. So, your intent needs to be strong. When your intent is strong and is pure, then things will happen. We talked about this earlier, like the Sheila with their, intense positivity is what brought her away from, the sleep paralysis happening, the spiritual attacks or visits, because her vibrations are higher now. She's, you know, she was positive in that affirmation. I am going to do this. I am not going to be a victim. I am done with this. She took charge. She did it. She get the book. Find out about it.
Yes.
That it's so important to have clear intent, and for there to be no wobble, and to be very focused in terms of what it is that you want, and not hold yourself in that negative place, and ask yourself, is it serving you? I mean, is it serving you being in that negative place?
Right. All right. Well, now she says, because I felt I've had intent for 5 years, but what intent? I mean, it's like, because right here you said it. I know I won't ever remember.
She would like to remember, but she knows she won't.
So, I mean, that's a wobble.
That's a wobble. I think as well that if it hasn't happened, then because you do get what you want, you do get what you are very clear in what you focus on.
Mm-hmm.
If it hasn't happened, there's a wobble there.
That's right. That's right. So, but when it's time, it'll happen. If it's meant to be.
Exactly.
I do think. Okay. Mike's interacting. Oh, hold on. All right. My guides, Julia, say you are correct in your assumptions. Don't dwell on this. Move on. Be clear about your self-preservation. See, so you shouldn't. You don't want to.
Mm-hmm.
No, you don't need to. Okay, so I know I don't remember the actual events. I am no victim. I am not afraid of what happened. I have positive intent to remember, but I know as an empath, it won't. Okay. Well, then, you know what? Listen to Mike. Listen to us. Leave it. Move on. New day, new dawn. New
Sometimes
Julia.
we're not supposed to remember certain things.
Yep. She said that's what I needed to hear. Well, there
Irritating
you
as
go. You heard
irritating as
it.
it is.
All of us. All right.
There you go.
Four of us telling you. Move on. Let it go.
If not, Gina and I will find you and kick your butt.
Yeah, we'll kick you into play.
First, we gotta wait till this. I'm allowed to cross the border to the States.
So now, these workshops that you're doing, though, Sheila, what are you actually teaching people?
No, I haven't started them yet. I'm putting them together now. I think the best thing is if persons are interested in anything that I'm doing, is to just visit the website, sign up. I mean, there's lots of places where you can sign up on the mailing list. There's a gratitude challenge that you can get as soon as you go onto the website. The best thing I think is to sign up and start getting those emails from me. I don't send out loads because I know that sometimes these emails can be a bit overwhelming. But you'll be kept up to date with stuff that I'm developing and doing as I go along. And I'll send that out on the mailing list. Also, keep an eye on the website because I'm putting together online courses for persons at different stages of the spectrum that I spoke about. From the very kind of soft, kind of transformational need space. I know I need to change my life. I know that I'm not where I should be. That kind of work I do, up to the metaphysical kind of non-physical stuff, and that's the spectrum. So over time, it will all be panned out, and it would be good if you could be with me on that journey, really, and work alongside me and get kind of notified and be up to date with what I've got going on. That would be the best thing. So yeah, check out the website and see what you like there.
Okay, I just put the link into the chat room for your website. So
Okay, great.
Okay.
I'm on the ball.
And just to say, another thing that I do is I've answered a lot of questions on Quora. I don't know if persons are familiar with Quora, where they can ask questions. So I answer a lot of questions on the website Quora, and those answers are also on the website. Put in what you're interested in, if it's sleep paralysis on the website, and you'll come up, a whole lot of stuff on sleep paralysis will come up. Likewise, if it's astral projection or general spirituality, you can find that on the website as well. So yeah, check it out.
Awesome.
Great.
So Michael is leaving us, but he said, okay, great topic, great show, peace and positive energy to all. As the famous Bruce Lee said, be water, my friends. That is awesome. Very smooth. Smooth. Thanks for joining us, Mike. It's always good to see you in the chat room. And Julia, you've been getting a lot of I think great tips in the chat room and from us, and I hope you do take those to heart and move forward. And maybe you want to talk to Sheila some more, after the show, and get in touch with her and check out what she's doing, keep you on the right track.
Exactly.
Because me and Mama D will just kick your butt,
That's
Sheila
right.
might have a little more passion.
Sheila and her foxes, me and my butterflies. Hello.
I know. See, the butterflies all be. My room is full
There you
of foxes. The house is full of foxes. I should call up the Guinness Book of World Records and have them come count my foxes.
That'd be cute.
No, I don't even.
We
I
could
wouldn't even
advertise it too.
begin.
Gina B in the world.
In the Guinness Book
But
of
the
World.
thing is, a lot of the stuff we've been discussing in this group is not just like, I know Julia and Gretchen have been like the most vocal about questions. A lot of the stuff, there's going to be a lot of other people having the same questions but are afraid to mention it, afraid to ask. So everything we share here, everything that Sheila is sharing here, is something that can be passed on. So make sure that you pass on this show, pass on the links to Julia's website and her Facebook page, so that anybody else out there who might be having this issue of sleep paralysis, and in the same spot that Sheila was in, not wanting to talk about it, afraid for what people would say, that you're opening a door for them. You're giving them that tiny little crack that all it needs to do is put their foot in it and shove it open, so that they'll find that help.
That's so true.
Yeah.
And Julia, you have shared it 3 times already. Oh, thank you so much. She says, let me know how, and I'm there. But this is it. Go to Sheila.
Go to her website, sign up.
Yep, sign up for her newsletter. Look at her. Actually, let me put this banner up here too. All right. Go to her Facebook page and
send me a message. Send me a message, no problem. On the Facebook, message me. I'll respond. Or Instagram, whatever. No problem.
She's on everything on LinkedIn and Instagram and everything. So and she's going to be coming out with a bunch of these, like she was saying, the workshops she's going to be trying, pulling together, and being on the ground floor with her, and that would be awesome, fantastic,
Yeah. Yeah.
And again, like she said, your friends, because I mean, I know I have a friend, and I should have told her that this. I'm gonna have to share it to her page after, because she dealt with this for years. When I was an interior designer, I decorated her mom's house. From her mom's house, I did the whole rest of the family. But you know, um, but she was telling me, because we were into the paranormal stuff, and she's like, "Oh my God, I get held down all the time, and it's like petrified." She's petrified. She's so scared. I'm like, it's just a spirit trying to communicate with you, because you're vulnerable at that point, because you're more susceptible, because you can hear them then, because it's not anything to be totally alarmed about. You don't have to be petrified. It's okay. Try to hear the message. Before you go to sleep, say, "Okay, tonight, right, I will listen to your message, but please, don't hold me down so tight." Or you know what I mean? Take a little charge.
Sit on the edge of the bed, not on my chest. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I know you're there. A little nudge. This is good.
Yeah, well, they want to get your attention. That's why they don't go to the edge of the bed.
Do like you did to Gina's grandpa. Pull on my feet.
Yeah, grab my feet. Good. But that's funny. I mean, they didn't show up to me and one of my cousins, my cousin Luann. They both showed up to just us two, and it's a huge Italian family. Can I tell you? Right? Tons of cousins. I can't. Maybe as many foxes as I have cousins. I don't know. Could be Guinness Book of World Record stuff. I don't know. Big Italian family. But they didn't show up to no one else, but just me and her, which is really weird. But that leads me to a question, though, for you, Sheila. Has anybody in your family ever showed any signs of psychic abilities, like maternal sides or anything, or your kids?
I've not seen it with the children as yet, but definitely uncles, aunties in the family. Yeah, it's there, most definitely. And now that I've come out and spoken, because they didn't speak about it. I'm speaking about it, and now they're speaking about it, and I'm saying, why didn't you tell me this? Why didn't I've been on my own with it? I was on my own with it for so long, and you never said anything.
Exactly.
And yeah, but they were in the same position as I was, where they didn't want to say anything about it and kept it to themselves. Yeah. So yeah, it's and it is known to be hereditary. It's something that is in families. It's a family thing. Yeah, that's what it's known to be. The research that has been done on it definitely shows that there's that trend for it to be in families. Yeah.
Right. Because I've noticed that I've had talked to other people, not this intently on the subject, but I have talked to other people, and they said in the family dynamics, it was either maternal sides or paternal sides. So either the boys were being affected or the girls were being affected, and that was it. So that is, I wonder why. Girls.
Yeah, I've never asked that question really, in terms of why that is.
But I think you are the one that is vocal about it now. So you're giving permission to your children, your nieces and nephews to come to you about it, to feel that they can talk about it and no longer be afraid, be where you were when this first started.
Yeah, I think you're quite right, and that's also part of the reason why I decided to kind of come out. I feel like I've come out about this.
Spiritual one. Damn.
I do. I feel like
Wonder Woman.
I've come out, and here I am, like,
woohoo!
And it gives permission, I'm hoping, for other people to.
It does, and like I said, you are that beam that there are other people who will hopefully see this video, and it goes to different places, so it's not just on Facebook, and people will see it and go, So I'm going through that. Nobody else talked about it. Here's something to see, and here's someone to talk to, and so I believe that you are achieving your mission, because the mission in life, I believe, for everybody is to affect one person, and I believe you've affected at least 2 people in the chat room, and I think you're going farther with this as well.
Oh,
Mhm.
thank you very
You're
much,
welcome.
Marty. That's very sweet of you.
Oh,
That's
Kendra
very
said, yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, that's why, I try to have as many a variety of guests on the shows as Mama does too, because she does her own show as well. She has Angel Meadows, and she does a variety of guests as well. And yeah, we're always saying that if we can just help one person,
Yep,
then our
exactly.
job is done. And this definitely is going to help a lot more than one person. There's no doubt in my mind.
Yeah.
Kendra though
Yeah.
said it's on both sides of her family, and she loves it. That's good. Well, that's good.
That's
It's only,
really
for
good.
me, it's only the girls. Hello.
Yeah, my house seems to be only the girls.
For me, it's both. And a grandmother was very, very kind of very, very well connected spiritually, had a very, very good spiritual gifts.
Well, that's awesome.
Now,
That is
where are you right now?
Right now, I'm in Jamaica.
See, now
Right
there's
now.
a spiritual place.
Yep.
For sure.
It is. And so everybody thinks, oh, Jamaica, Jamaican rum, and all other kinds of fun things. But it's not. There is so much spirituality there.
Oh yeah.
You know, so
Yeah,
that's,
and
we're all coming to visit you.
and poor voodoo gets such a bad rep. I'm
Yeah,
telling
voodoo
you.
is not bad.
Voodoo and hoodoo.
It's like everything else. It's the intent.
Oh
The
my
intent.
God. Yeah, it's
You know?
it's
I'm
so
not gonna. I promise I'm not gonna make a little doll of my husband and poke pins in him.
Oh,
liar,
I'll give him little massages.
liar,
But that's what I have my bears for.
go bull. But that's another show though, spirituality in Jamaica. But oh wow, you know what? We've got only like a half an hour left. That went by really fast. Did that go by fast to you? It seemed like it just flew
for
by.
sure.
I
Yeah.
don't.
When
Yeah.
it's an interesting conversation and people are engaging in the chat room and there's conversations on both ends, it does.
Yeah.
And it's like you said, this is something that it's needed. I've never heard of anybody who talks about sleep paralysis. There's only one other person I want to get on my show, and that's a death doula. I got that one's going to be good,
Okay.
but gotta find one who's willing to talk about it. But nobody talks about
Yeah. Lady Castro, Lady oh, what's her name? In New York. I'll get that information to you.
cool.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
nobody talks about these things, and this is what we have as a platform, is to make sure that there is a safe platform to people talk about, because there are people who want to listen, like the ladies in the chat room, like whoever it is that you're going to touch in the archives.
Right. And what I love best though, Sheila, you're just down to earth.
She is.
You're telling it like it is.
Oh,
You're not using a bunch of medical jargon and this and
You're
that.
not talking up here. Gina and I are down here.
I mean, some of the books and things that I have to read for this show, I'm telling you, I'm just like, wow, I need a dictionary right next to me while reading it. You know what I mean? It's like kind of impossible. Lacey, come here. I'm gonna show my dog finally in a show. Come here. No, Matt. Come here.
No, she's not. She's like, I don't want to be on camera. Forget that. We both have dogs that like to come on camera every so often, but just little bits, and then they're gone.
She don't want to.
oh,
All right, go ahead. Go on. Come here. You want to come here? Come here. You want to come say hi? No.
Sharon, what did you put in the chat room? A cow?
I don't know what that is. Lacey, come here. Come here. Get over here. She listens so well.
Uh-huh.
I trained her well.
And it's amazing. She's a girl. They usually listen better. Sorry.
Never. Bob says it's my accent because I say here. He goes, well, if you say to her, come here, in his Pennsylvania accent, she comes. I'm like,
That's
no,
because he's a boy and she likes boys.
with me and my accent. She knows here.
Yeah, exactly.
She knows what I mean. She just doesn't do it because she knows I'll go get her. So I'll yell like profusely out in the yard, come here, 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 50 times, then I got to go get her.
Yeah. She's like, mm-mm. Yep. I'm gonna sit here. Mom will come and get me eventually.
Exactly.
I'll go into my princess. It's a bull. Why do we have a bull in the
know
chat
what?
room, Sharon?
That's bull. Oh, bull for you with your doll. I get
Oh,
it. I get
got
it.
it. Mm.
I get it. A little late. We're all right.
No, I don't need a doll for that. I just go over and poke it myself with my nails. There
Oh,
you
I
go.
know. Yeah, she was.
Sorry. Sorry,
Yeah,
we kind of got off topic. That's
I know.
one thing about us is we
Shame.
enjoy. We make
Late.
sure that the message is given, but we also make sure that everybody has a good time on learning what they have to learn.
Right. Right. Totally. You know, I love having Mama D as my
Comic
co-host
relief.
here. Let's
So
see.
you have a new book coming up that's more of a workbook. Are you going to combine that with your workshops? Or
Yes,
can
that's
people just work on that
exactly it.
by themselves?
Well, they can do it by themselves, and it goes through. It will kind of list a lot of the practices and exercises and things that I did to kind of transition. So persons can use it as a self-help book, but there will be retreats coming up, which I'm really looking forward to.
In
And
Jamaica?
yeah, I'm going to be organizing more retreats for persons to come along, and we'll be doing some of the exercises and practices as well there at the retreat.
Now, are
So,
physical retreats like in Jamaica?
yeah. Once this situation is
Virus.
over, yeah,
Once we're all cleared up. Once
Yep.
I can cross
that's
the border.
right, that's it. And they've opened the airport. You know, it will be on. And I'm really looking forward to those. Not just for sleep. I'm going to be doing sleep paralysis ones, as well as persons who want more guidance and direction and a bit of support. So those will be coming up hopefully later this year. Those retreats.
Awesome.
Also,
So,
yeah.
go ahead.
I was just going to say that one of the things that I'm trying very hard to get out there is that sleep paralysis and that whole experience there is not abstract to persons who may say they want more spiritual guidance, or they want more psychic development, or they might say, you know, I feel disconnected and not in alignment. It's all one of the same thing. So part of my work is to get that message out, that there is this non-physical part of you, and that there's energy and guides around, and that all impacts on the person that you are in your day-to-day life and the things that you do. You know, so it's not that is way over there and I'm here. It really is. It's really all in the one space, and that's part of the work that I'm doing.
Awesome. Well, you got to have that connection too, you know,
Yeah.
with the people and to know what's going on. Because again, everybody's case is different and what they need is a little different. You can teach and demonstrate a broad spectrum of things, and how people are going to perceive it are all going to be different, you know, and what's actually going to work for them.
That's right. I think that's one of the most interesting things, the way how everybody's is at a different stage, and it's quite difficult. You can't kind of group people and put everyone's experience and their perception and their understanding. Everybody is just so different, you know.
But that's how you learn. You learn through experiences, through people, places, and experiences, you know, their fears and how they overcame those fears, you know. And that's, you know, that's a big thing, is overcoming your fear of this too, because so many people, like you said, you know, you got to that point, you did not want to sleep, you know, because you didn't want this to happen again. So it's like, what, we're going to try to stay awake so that this won't happen. You know, it's like, whatever.
I did actually.
Yeah, whatever stage though that you're in, and you talk about these things, and it's like, and it's cool to find out that, again, even the thing that you think is like crazy like that is not that crazy, because I guarantee you other people were doing the same thing. I'm just not going to go to sleep. I'll drink coffee, I'll do whatever,
Yeah.
and maybe I'll
Michael.
just at some point pass out from sheer exhaustion, and maybe I'll get some sleep then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eventually you're going to have to sleep, but
Yeah. I did because I can so remember doing that, just kind of as long as possible.
yeah.
Thank you, Sharon.
We're
Well,
all signing up. I don't know if we're all going to get the retreat going, but we're all signing up to go to Jamaica.
We're going to Jamaica. Yes.
Well, you can't come to. You've got to come to the retreat as well.
Well,
Oh,
we will, so long
will.
as we can all go out to the bar afterwards.
Oh,
I want the music playing.
Just
the
make
band.
sure my daughter stays home because she doesn't want to see her mom get.
Oh yeah, no one goes but the girls, right?
The grown-ups. No children allowed. Well, at least not mine, anyway.
What happens in Jamaica stays in Jamaica.
Jamaica. Oh, Jamaica won't know what hit it when we show up.
I'm
I
sorry.
love it. What happens in Jamaica stays in Jamaica. That's so
There you go.
cool. But no problem, as they say. No problem.
Yeah, it's a new bumper sticker. Add it to the curriculum. The last page. And remember, what happens here
The
stays.
last day of the we're gonna have a little party. Shh, don't tell nobody.
Yes.
Oh,
I told you at the beginning this could happen.
Yep.
This-
I'm sorry. I'll behave myself.
yeah. Oh God.
But I'm curious about something. I've never had sleep paralysis, thankfully, because I'd be rather cranky with the spirits if they did that to me. But what I do get every so often is and I have no idea if you've ever had this or if it's even connected, is where I'm falling. I fall. I
yeah.
feel like I fell right into my bed,
Yeah.
and I
Yep.
wake up going, okay, wait a second. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
fine.
You slam. I think that's a little astral projection right there. That's what I think, and you're coming back into your body.
Yeah.
But
Because
they
we
always
do astral project when we sleep.
Hmm.
It's just
Like
that
I
when
said,
we come
I
back,
used to do it as a child.
yeah, we do. And I think as children, you have less resistance. And so you
Mhm.
have that ability to do that resistance free, that astral projection. It's just that when we wake up, most people don't have that recollection of what happened when they were astral projecting,
I
But,
wonder where I go when I astral project at night.
but you
Yeah,
can
close
you
the
can
curtains.
you can do exercises where you astral project and try to control it. So outside of going to sleep for the night, you may decide, I'm going to try and astral project, and you just meditate quite deeply. Try and meditate
Okay.
quite deeply. And then you will feel that sensation. It's almost as though, I don't know if there's been times when you've been in a deep meditative state and you totally don't hear anything. You're not aware of anything going on around you, and time just passes.
Yeah.
And then you say, well, that was quick, not realizing that you were so absorbed. It's the same with an astral projection experience, that you can just relax and go into that state, and you can actually feel yourself move, and you'll see things in your surroundings. And then whether or not you're able to maintain that, if you can, fantastic. If you can't, you shoot back into your body because you get a bit scared. You
Right.
shoot back into your body and you're like, whoa, what was that?
Yeah.
That was,
I think for me it's popping back into my body just before I wake up because it's not too long before I'm actually supposed to get up for the morning. So maybe
Yeah,
it's just like I've been flying over to Jamaica and checking things out.
you may well do that tonight.
Been here, done that. There you
You're
go.
peeking in on people. I know
I'm
you.
dead. You know me.
This
It's like,
is it.
hello.
This is it.
Magic Mike. Hello.
I see you. I know you, Mama.
I'm sweet. I'm innocent. I'm a grown woman.
Just-
Hello.
Hell,
Just have that intention, Mama B.
I think
And
I will. I'm
tonight,
gonna try
who
that.
knows where you'll go.
Good lordy.
try to do that. Do you have a dream journal next to your bed? Do you have a dream journal next to
Yes.
your bed, Sheila?
I do, definitely.
But
I've got-
everybody should. I mean, I always have, a pad of paper, pencil, little
Yeah.
note, something.
I've even taken my phone and audio
Record it.
recorded a message in my email to myself, and it's like I look at it the next day. And go, what the heck did I say? Not good at voice recording in the middle of the night.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, I just blocked out your whole face. Hi, ladies. I came in late, but I have a question for my daughter. She's not here with me, and she doesn't
have Facebook.
So I'm going to relay what she is saying. In sleep paralysis, what do the things you see mean? She saw something very scary. She feels like it was not just a negative energy, but more demon-like, and she heard laughing in her ear.
Wow.
Okay. I definitely used to see the demon. The demon was on my chest, sometimes next to the bed. It was a huge thing. It was kind of hunched, a hunched back, kind of rounded kind of thing. Very dark, large eyes that would just kind of sit on my chest, Then sometimes whilst that was happening, I'd feel something on my legs as well, a coldness on my legs. Now, again, what I would say is that, I was terrified. And for your daughter, I can totally understand where she's at with that, But it's like we were saying earlier, the place where I was having had that experience. For the whole day, I'd be thinking, I don't want that to happen again. They're going to come and get me. And I could visualize this entity coming. And so I would be afraid. And this was why I was afraid to sleep. And as we were saying, though, the more you think about that, you're in a place of fear and anxiety and stress. You hold yourself there. So you give it permission to keep coming in that format. It's almost as though there's gatekeepers and they want you to stay there. They don't want you to transition. They kind of suck that energy and take pleasure from that fear. It was almost like that. That was very much the feeling that I got when I was experiencing those moments. But the moment that I was defiant, the moment that I wasn't in that place of fear anymore, it completely changed. As I was saying, fear begets more fear. Anxiety begets more anxiety. You get what you think about. I would think about this entity and the things in the room and the darkness, and I'd be terrified to sleep. I don't want to sleep. Or I'd think maybe I'll just survive on naps. I'll just have naps, little naps, but then they would come during the naps sometimes, So what needs to happen is that your daughter you need to do some work to get her from this place of fear and anxiety about what's going on, because she's definitely got a high vibration, a spiritual vibration, because she's engaging them. So it's there, that gift is there, and that in itself is a positive thing. She's now on the periphery where it can really, really go onto a much higher and new level. But she's got to want that. You know, she's got to deal with that demon-like entity that she's seeing. And just, even if it's kind of affirmations, they can't hurt me, they can't do anything to me, you know, I'm going to overcome this, and keep that positive mindset. It says she was 24 at the time. Yeah. I
So how old is
started,
she now?
I mean, I started when I was about 22. But
Which-
yeah, it's keep that positive mindset and be upbeat,
Yeah.
and feel more empowered.
Yeah, both her daughters, I believe, are gifted, and Christine has gifts too. You know, she comes to a lot of our events and whatnot too. So she's always been around, you know, the psychic and the paranormal community. Lace.
She said, I may not want to have my face on camera, but my voice is going to be on camera.
Right? She never barks. Lacey, come here. I don't know what she's talking
Bob's
about.
in the fridge. Bob's in the fridge.
Yeah, she's upstairs. I'm on the second floor of the house. Bob is downstairs,
Okay.
but she's in my bedroom barking. So I don't know. Maybe something's in there with her. Maybe my second floor lady.
There you go.
Yeah, but Christiane, you know, I don't know which one of your daughters you're talking about here, but it could be either one of them because I know they're both gifted. But she's such a lovely, lovely, lovely soul. Christiane is, and her daughters are just fabulous. They're wonderful people. But yeah, you got to tell them to take charge, take that positive intent, that positive attitude, and apply it before she goes to bed. Yeah, see, she's 25. She's had many visits from different spirits, but this one time was deeper than the others. And the laughing, yeah, they're mocking you, they're laughing, yeah, you know. But I mean, that you've been around long enough. Spirits were people, you know. If this is the person that's doing this, if they were a jerk in life, they're going to be a jerk in death. Okay, until they actually cross over, and you know, then they can change, go from a ghost to being a spirit. It's Francesca. Okay, I love Francesca. Oh, she should be like an international model. She's so beautiful, but inside and out, she's just beautiful, beautiful soul. But yeah, she's got it. She's got it hands down. She can take charge of this thing, and you know, her intent and her positivity will overrule anything that comes her way.
Yeah, because they can't come unless you give them permission to do so. You know, by your will. So because you have the free will to say no, and stand up to that, they would have to back down. But what will happen is that will transition into a higher level, which is just amazing when that happens. And I think what you said, I think it was Gina or you, Mama, said that there's so many different gifts, so many different abilities. Yes, Gina.
I'll be right back.
So many
Go get your dog.
different ones, and we're all different, so we all express them differently, you know. So I would say to her, be strong internally. Take back your power, take back your space, you know, and stand up to it. Non-physically,
Exactly.
non-physically.
Yeah, exactly. It could have been something that, for that one reason or another, they wanted to share something, good, bad, or otherwise. This spirit wanted to share. Try that one again. Share something. So if it hasn't happened again, it was only this one time. Maybe whatever they wanted to share wasn't important, or they didn't think that they got it through. But again, Francesca has to take, like Sheila says, she has to take back her power. She has to be the one that's like, hello. Talk to the hand. Don't mess with me.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right. I think as well, I do find that if it's important, they do keep knocking, you know.
Yeah.
And the knock gets louder and harder. If they're they can be very persistent with it.
Mhm.
When they want the message to get through. So it depends, as you said, how important at that time it was, and if it will continue. But definitely stand in your own power, take back your power, because you have that right to do that. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Tell her to add some meditations in her, and raise her vibrations up too. Tell her to get in touch. Right there's the website. Tell her to get in touch,
Yeah.
get on her mailing list, and see what's going on. Maybe she can talk to
Yeah.
her
Yeah.
here and there, and
Yeah.
get some insights and some tips on how to deal. Or check the progress, see how things are going.
That's
And you
right.
And
yeah.
meet us in Jamaica.
And we'll all be in Jamaica. So Christine, you gotta take both your girls and your sister. Your sister has to come too. All right, we're all going to Jamaica.
Yeah. We'll have a wonderful time with the white rum.
Oh yeah.
You like that?
Okay, that's more or less what we were thinking, but we want to see your thoughts as well.
I
Thank
thought
you.
you would like that.
Yeah, and she
You know
said
me too
she's
well.
so ready for
Oh,
Jamaica.
she's so ready for Jamaica.
That's
Great.
where I'm astral traveling
You're on.
tonight, Jamaica.
I know those of us who can't physically go. Everyone, get your passports. Get them now. So by the time
Yeah,
you're flying, you get them back, you'll have it be ready. All right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jamaica, watch out. Mama D's coming.
I know. What part of Jamaica are you in?
Right now, I'm in Montego Bay. I don't know if you know Montego Bay.
How
You-
nice.
Yes,
I think that's where my
it
daughter
is
went on
nice.
her vacation.
Really.
Oh, my
Montego
daughter's
Bay.
been. I think I've gone, everywhere else, but I don't think. Did I go to Jamaica? I think I might. That was way back then. I don't remember those days too well. Not
Chris Ann
confirmed.
says, absolutely, we'll see you in Jamaica.
Yes, definitely, Chris.
Oh.
Make a
But
cruise
all
for Jamaica.
the fun that we are having here. I mean, this really is such a serious subject,
It
and
is.
I do, I don't want anyone to think we're making light of any way, shape, or form of the situation, but it does help the positivity come through. Laughter, love, and light helps the
That's right.
positivity.
That's right.
It
Right.
raises the vibrations, and that's what this world and everybody in it needs it. And this is a serious topic, but it's also something that you need to take, raising your vibrations, standing in your power, raising your vibrations, and just like, back off. I'm here. I'm okay. Don't mess with me when I'm sleeping.
Yes.
You don't have, the thing is, they don't have a chance with you when you're awake. So they mess
That's
with you while you're asleep. That's when you're in your, and sleeping and in the shower. Boy, if you come near me in the shower, you're going
I'll kill you. That you did.
I don't shower, I take baths. I like bubble
Yeah.
baths, meditate. There you go.
Aw.
Mess my meditation in the bubble bath. Y'all gonna have to really be dealing with some stuff.
Yeah. And amen to this. Hey, listen, you gotta laugh. Nothing more healing than that.
We are getting a ton of heart and laughter
Aw.
in the Facebook. That's the only thing with StreamYard. We don't get to see the love and the laughter that's going on, but we're getting a ton. I can't tell who it is. Oh, it's Sharon. We're getting a ton of hearts from Sharon.
Thank you.
That's because
I can't see when people
she's
come and
chartering
go.
the boats.
Yeah, like, oh, nice. Nice. We're going by boat. We're gonna fly. But boats are fun too. I don't know what kind of condition we'll be in by the time we get there.
Mm-hmm. God, could you see the plane right over? Hello. We'll need a detox before we go into the seminar.
Yeah.
Chrissy Ann says, hey, listen, you gotta laugh.
Yeah, there's nothing more healing than that. I said that already. But absolutely, she said she'll see you in Jamaica, Christiane.
Damn straight.
So
That's
Christiane,
wonderful.
Sharon's in, we're in. Yeah, what more do we need?
Wonderful.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll have a hell of a time.
We really would. We really would.
Listen, watch out, Jamaica.
So what okay, in your book, because I don't have your book, and that's kind of unusual for me to not have
A
a
book.
book for a show, like, but I read, the 5 pages that was in the what was the name of that?
Natural healing.
Natural healing, yeah, natural and organic healing. A
Yeah.
lot of people were showcased in that, and you were in there, and so the 5 pages that you're in, very intriguing indeed. But
Oh,
I want to know a little bit more about the book. Is it just a story? Do you have some meditations, some advice? What what would be the key thing people would get out of getting your book?
so the book, and just to say again, though, it's not out yet, but the book in the self-help space. So
Okay.
it focuses at the beginning. It focuses on the theory, not in a very kind of complex way, but it looks at the history of sleep paralysis because it has been around for thousands of years. It's not a new thing, sleep paralysis. It looks at the history. It looks at the countries where it's most prevalent. And it does talk a bit about my experience. It talks, as we said, about genetics and family histories and things like that. So the first, I'd say the first third of the book is about that. Then it goes into step by step exercises that you can do to free yourself and transition from sleep paralysis. So there are 8 chapters. Each chapter has exercises and affirmations and guidance for you
Awesome.
to transition out of sleep paralysis and see yourself through the other side. Yeah. So it's definitely a book for somebody who wants to know what sleep paralysis is, because that's all there at the beginning part. But it's also for someone who is experiencing sleep paralysis or knows somebody who is experiencing it and can say, hey, do these exercises, try these exercises here. But it goes through it very clearly what you can do to work yourself through it, and it's all based on things that I myself have done and used tools and methods that I use
Yeah.
to transition from sleep paralysis, and it also, as it goes along, it kind of it makes you feel more empowered and more in control of your own life. So, and it shows you who you can be, and that you're really very, very special. And why not tap into that? And why not use that, to enhance yourself and others around you? So it's really an empowering book as well as helping you transition through sleep paralysis. Because one of the things I think also about sleep paralysis is there's something about self-love, and it's important to love and respect and adore yourself, and to show that love to yourself. And that means, paying attention to different things. And the book goes through all of this, and works you through building that up and having more love for yourself, and likewise for other people around you as well. Love is a key thing, not just sleep paralysis, but spirituality in general. Love and light.
Yes.
Love and light. Love and light.
Exactly.
So
Now, you said the book hasn't been printed yet. Do you have a date for the printing, or let's just follow you on your website and we should know more?
now, I'm going to put a pitch out now, because I've delayed on the printing, because I would like to work with an agent. So any agents out there that are interested, I'm up for it. I would go to a publisher, and I would consider that as well. So that's why I've held off for a little while. I'm waiting for the right person to align and kind of work with me in that way, just to get it out.
Right. Well,
And
I mean, we had several people on the shows that have done self-publishing, and they say that works best for them. Other people, they've had a few agents. I work with agents.
Okay.
Get guests from my show, and they're the publishing agent, and then they also book the people's for shows, radio shows, like this, and so that's a plus, part of it. So yeah, after the show, I can get you a couple names. I think Mama knows a couple names and some publishing.
I have a thought in my head.
Yeah, she has one.
Awesome.
So if anyone else has, this is how this works.
Yes.
One hand washes the other. Everyone helps
That's
each
what
other.
it's about.
And that's what it's about. So if you do, know someone that is a good publisher. I mean, because some of them are good, some of them are not so good. Some of them, take advantage.
Yeah.
And then you don't get your just desserts. Like one publisher was taking 80% of a book from
Excuse
someone.
me.
I'm like, yeah, what? No, that should be the opposite way.
Yeah, no. Mama Deal smack shit out of that one. Sorry. Is that allowed?
I won't mention the names, but
Inside voice.
later.
So, the do's and don'ts of who to go to publishing, talk to Gina.
Right. That's right.
Yeah.
But that is how it works. That's why we do our shows. We want the message to get out. We want the information to get out. We want to help as many people as we possibly can. That's what Sheila is all about. She lived this. She wants to help people. It's not a get rich thing. Right? It's not
90 seconds.
Oh man.
Okay,
90 seconds.
that's
All
okay.
right. So,
Okay, before we go, we're going to do, for those of you who are listening in the archives and you only listening to the audio version of this, Sheila Pryce Brooks, SheilapryceBrooks.com. Go there, sign up for her newsletter, connect with her on Facebook. The exact name I just read out. Do the same thing on Facebook. Look up Sheila Pryce. You have to go there. I've said my piece. I did that in 30 seconds.
Good job, Mama. All right, share the video. Check her websites out. Check her out on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, all those things. All right, and get in touch. If you have someone that has had sleep paralysis, is going through sleep paralysis, does want to raise their vibration, tell them to get in touch with Sheila Pryce Brooks. All right, or us, and we'll help you get in touch with Sheila.
That's it.
Okay, but Sheila, thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks. Putting up with our silliness.
Yes, thank you for the shenanigans, and it really was. It was a lot of fun. I'd love to have you back on again. I definitely want to get your book when it does come out, and hopefully we can help you get that published where it's going to benefit you most.
Great, thank you very much for that. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Been a blast.
Thank you guys. I love you all. Thank you. Yes, I don't see you as you come and go into the chat rooms anymore because I just see the comments that go up. I don't see you popping in and out, so I apologize for that. So I used to wave to you and everything, but during StreamYard we can't do that. So, sorry about that.
Oh, yeah, a quick one. Everybody who doesn't know, Gina's got a YouTube account. Let us know. I'll give you the links because eventually we're going to be streaming on Facebook and YouTube.
Right.
Hello.
Right.
She didn't know, but I
got
just said
YouTube.
so.
I got YouTube. We got to check us out. All our things. We're expanding. We're expanding. We're growing, and
Yes, because the more people we reach, the more people can be helped.
that's right. All right. Well, thank you all, everybody, and you all have a wonderful night. Bye.
Bye.